Howdy YouTubers, today's topic will be food. Why food is the most important thing in your life and yet it isn't. We will cover meat, plants, energy of those, and how does it relate to your spirituality. So first, what's the difference between eating meat and plant? Meat, when you eat it, is dead, and it dies from the moment you kill the animal. It rots and it just deteriorates from the moment you kill the animal. You may slow the process down by freezing and stuff, but that doesn't change the subject. The energy is lost. Hindu people believe meat should be eaten about 3 hours to 5 hours after killing. If you need to eat the meat, and I think eating a little meat is alright, especially light white meat like fish and birds. I eat a little. My diet consists about of 5 to 10% of meat, about 50% of fat, 10% of minerals, vitamins, microelements and other elements, and the rest is water. And I'm getting only better, feel better. I lost a lot of weight over the years. I never almost exercised. It's all in your head. And when you know things, your head, your brain works better with your body. So, when you eat dead matter, you become dead. Everybody knows you become what you eat. And people in the Western civilizations eat more meat than ever. I would say their diet consists of 60% of meat, and especially red meat, which is really bad. It stays in your system, in your gut system, for up to 7 days, depending how raw you eat it. And it ferments inside. And know this is scientific fact, that if your body has a choice between meat fat and plant fat, it will choose the plant fat, because it's better absorbed, it's processed faster, and it gives only a little bit less energy than fat meat, which is a longer chain. Obviously takes longer to process, gives more energy, but also uses more energy. So think about it. Tesla said everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. So if meat is dead, it loses its vibration. There's nothing that pushes the atoms that vibrate. It loses its frequency. So, in general, it loses energy, and we need that energy. Because we don't only eat matter, we also need eat spirit, energy. Because we are spiritual beings as well. Look how different you feel when you eat a heavy meat or a light salad. You know? So, what's with plants? Energy. Plant, when you take it off its parent, let's say an apple from a tree, it can stay fresh and alive for years. Plants are still living after you harvest them. A lot of plants can stay fresh for a very long time, even years. Apples, potatoes. And you can also put them in jars many different ways, and raw, like pickles, like jams, or other things. I especially like the fruits. But back to the subject, energy. It still has energy. It still produces energy because it's alive, so it still vibrates. And you eat that energy when you eat that. It's like you eat that apple. Do you know apple wakes you up more than coffee in the morning? Why? Because it has the purest kind of sugar, fructose, which goes straight to the brain. It's one of the favorite sugars for the brain. Brain feeds only on the sugar. If brain didn't need the sugar, we could live only on fat. We would not need any sugar at all. Nothing. Only what's in the plants, naturally. So think about it, and I'm not telling you to change your diet drastically. But when you start eating less meat, you also hunger more. And you also ease your body. Because at the moment, most people are at dis-ease. Because they are heavy, their body cannot rest. They eat all day long for like 16 to 18 hours. And people don't eat only when they sleep. And we should only eat basically between afternoon and evening. And in the morning, if somebody is working very heavy and needs a lot of energy, they might need a breakfast, and they should eat leftovers from the dinner from the last day, from yesterday. Well, I'm not saying you should, but that's a good way. That's how people lived for thousands of years. What was left from the yesterday was eaten in the morning, and new stuff was made every day. A woman woke up late morning, between 10 and 12 or 1 p.m. They made food, and then people, whenever they come home for a break or wherever, they ate. They had one big, thing for the soup, and it was all they had, and some bread. They didn't have dishes. They basically ate similar stuff every day, depending on the season. A little bit more meat in the winter, much less meat in the summer. So think about it. Look at animals. For example, a bear. A bear can live his whole life on plants, on blueberries, red berries, whatever berries, and honey. And you know what? That bear will put up more fat for the winter than any bear that will eat meat. A bear that eats sugar will put up fat much faster. Sugar turns to fat. Unprocessed sugar in your body turns to fat. Fat is not processed that much in your body. So when you eat fat, you process fat, and you are not fat. You will never be fat if you eat fat. Of course, there are different fats, but cholesterol, don't believe doctors when they say cholesterol is bad. Maybe if you are have disharmony, imbalance in your body, then cholesterol might be a reason for some disease. But usually cholesterol, what it does, it wants to heal your veins, your vessels, blood vessels, The sugar is the damaging factor. It makes holes in your vessels, and then the cholesterol comes patching it. But if you eat sugar every day, you're damaging your body vessels every day, then there is a buildup of those patches, cholesterol patches, and it clogs the arteries. And then the doctor says, you have a high cholesterol, you have a risk of clogging, you know. But that's a half-truth, and half-truths, you know, as bad as lies, you know. Stop eating processed sugar. The only sugar that is good is honey, and you know, you cannot avoid not eating sugar because it's in a plant matter, but that sugar, body can take care of it, you know. So, you know, eat fat and don't be fat. Eat sugar and you'll be fat. I used to weigh 220 pounds. Now I'm weighing 138 pounds. And I didn't do anything for the 4 years, over 4 years, that when I switched, when I started doing it, small steps. It's called Kaizen way. It's a Japanese system. You make changes with very little steps over sometimes a very long periods of time. So at the beginning, I was losing weight very slowly, but I didn't do anything. I didn't have to exercise. I actually had to do less than people think. You have to do more, exercise more to burn. No, you need to do less. But you will only realize when you start doing it. And the first 2 years were very slow. I only dropped about 30 pounds. But the last 2.5 years, I dropped the rest of the weight. What was it? About 60 pounds. 50, 60 pounds over last 2 years. And I got a job when I'm just sitting all day watching YouTube videos, learning, you know, and just, you know, taking care of the business. But, you know, I'm a very lazy person. I do a very little, and I lost so much because I started eating a little bit less. I still have cheat days every week or two when I eat whatever I want for a day, but I also, you know, have this intermittent fasting diet when I eat between about 12 and 6 or 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock. It doesn't have to be strict. It might be 6 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours windows. The best one is, people say 16 to 8, 16 hours of non-eating and 8 hours of eating, wherever you want. And even as much as you want, of course, within reason. You know, a 70 kilogram and 150 pound person should eat no more than 1.5 pounds of food a day, but best would be a pound, you know, of solid food, or less, depends who you are and what you do in your work. If you're a woman, you need less. If you're a man working hard, you need to eat a little bit more, you know. And the intermittent fasting thing is great thing because it activates phagocytosis, which is also called ketosis, you know, which is self-eating. Your body starts eating your own leftovers in your body, you know, because in general your body processes only about 20-30% of food you eat, and the rest is excreted. So, and those are not toxins that you excrete with your shit, you know. Usually you excrete toxins with your skin and your urine. So, And the shit is usually fiber and protein. If it smells, it's usually protein. If it's not smelling, it's good as well, but it has less protein. I mean, you can. Why do people smell shit? A lot of people like to smell their shit after they do it. It's ancient thing. An ancient man used to smell their shit to check if he has a disease or not, or for imbalance. If your urine has any other color than clear, it's usually you have too much protein if it's yellow, or sugar. And similar with shit, but you need to check the details by yourself, you know, what smells give what, wherever, you know, is happening with you. So I'm not saying I smell my shit, but you do. Every time you shit, you take a shit, you will smell it. Unless you are like a sterile person, which is bad for you. Being sterile is really bad because you need bacteria, bad and good, on yourself, in your body, to have your white blood cells, which are your warriors, defenders of your body. They have to train. If they don't train, they forget. It's like muscle memory. White cells have something similar to muscle memory. And if you don't get sick, or at least infected every now and then, from dirt, from wherever, from the nature, from animals, well, they don't have an enemy, and they get lazy, and they forget, they get slower, there's less of them. And then if something heavy attacks you, they are not prepared. And before they get prepared, you might get really bad. So I stepped a lot here, but it was about food and vibrations. You know, meat is dead when you eat it. Plant is alive, unless you cook it. But if you eat it right after cooking or boiling, it's still alright because it still has a lot of unprocessed by temperature or pressure, a lot of elements that are not destroyed by it. Just like microwave. Microwave destroys all crystal structures of the food. Destroys DNA, chains of wherever it is, fat chains, protein chains, DNA chains. You just eat dead matter and you excrete it right away, or after a while, because your guts are very long, and something you ate 3 days ago is still about, just by the end of your gut, getting ready to get out. I mean, think how much food you have if you eat a lot every day. That's why a human can survive 30 days without food and only about 3 to 7 days without water. Depends where you are, in a dry climate or wet climate. Something that is alive gives off energy. Something that is dead can only suck in energy. It's dead. And carnivore diet is not bad. If you lived like that your whole life, you might still be good eating meat. And if you eat it fresh, and don't freeze it or buy frozen, that's fine. The thing is, you will be more satiated when you eat plant matter, because it also has spiritual energy. So you will be more alive, because being alive is not only about your body being in good shape, because there are a lot of people that are in pretty good shape and they are depressed to the point they commit suicide. I mean, this should open your eyes. Plant matter fills your body and spirit. Meat matter fills only your body to the point, up to a point. And then you're hungry again. Why do you think you're hungry? After you ate 3 hamburgers from McDonald's, and a salad, and a full cup of drink, and an hour later you're thinking again of going to a fast food or something. Also, think about it, how bad you feel if you eat this cheap food. I mean, it tastes good when you eat it, but after you're full, you feel so heavy. And you feel like you don't have energy. Why do you think you don't have energy? Because that meat matter, that matter in you sucks your energy from your body. And it doesn't use it. It just sucks it and wastes your energy, because your energy is used to process it. Plant matter doesn't need that. It has its own energy. And it even gives you more. And it's not only about sugar in the plant matter that gives energy. It's the thing that the plants, all the plants need is water and sun. This is the same that we need and animals need. I mean, a man can survive on water in a sunny climate for a very, very long time, eating very, very little. I'm not saying you should not eat at all, because you should. Over time, you lose fibers in your body, you lose elements, microelements, you lose vitamins. There is storage in your body for everything, for the dozens, maybe hundreds of hormones that steer your body. And there are not only hormones, there are elements like magnesium, potassium, that's needed for your spiritual energy to know where to go. Those are metals that have magnetic fields. That's why we are electromagnetic beings. That's why our brains know where the foot is, or knows where to grow a foot when you are a baby in a womb. Because all these elements, electromagnetic, they have their own field, and it's like three-dimensional setup, X, Y, Z. And the brain knows where to grow these things because it sends those elements there. They vibrate, and it's like transmitter and receiver. Your brain is transmitter receiver, your body is transmitter receiver, your skin is antenna, especially when it's wet. When you sweat, when you work out. If you want to, because you don't have to. If you do a fair amount of walking and moving over the day, that's fine. Don't need to do that much. I would like to end this because it's about 25 minutes now. I would like to end this with some wisdom from the Bible. The fast is a holiday, annual holiday, when you don't eat during the day for X amount of days. Different religions have different amounts of days, 30 days, 40 days, whatever days. I will tell you one thing, when you are already in a diet and you're kind of advanced in the field, then after 3 days you will be feeling great. on a keto diet. You will be feeling so great, you will not want any food. Just a little bit of drink, water or tea, sometimes a fruit juice. I don't recommend them, but a glass or two a day is alright. I used to drink half a gallon a day for many years, and I didn't know why I was fat when I was drinking non-concentrate juice. Well, too much fruit is not good. You know, in a plant diet, vegetables should be 70 to 80% of your diet. Fruits, not much. Maybe not so sweet fruits, like the little fruits, kind of like berries, bulbis. Small fruits are better than big fruits. But it all depends on what you want to achieve, what your goals are, where you live, what climate. But fast is the best way to get really spiritual, really happy, really energetic. You will have so many ideas. If you want to feel alive again, that's the way. Eat plant, drink water, and enjoy life. Thank you. Bye.